Hey guys, Jacob Barnhill here with the Barnhill team at eXp Realty. Today we're going to talk about a couple things that we do, really one thing that we do and a couple points within that. And then I got a bonus thing for you guys, so stick around till the end. I got number one common concern for a lot of consumers and clients that I'm talking to on the phones every day. We're going to talk about that as well, that number one thing. So let's dive right in. How do we win in today's market? Let me tell you a situation and explain what I typically see. I have a lot of people that we talk to and they'll call me, and this is very common, and I've tried to do the work for people in the past, and they call me last minute and they say, hey Jake, we just saw this property. They're not a current client and we haven't established any kind of motivation. I don't know why they want to sell. I don't know what their house looks like. I don't know what price we could sell it at. I don't know how much they'll make. They don't know how much they'll make exactly. They don't know what we're charging. They don't know any of that stuff. And they'll call me on the fly in a market like today that's highly competitive, and they'll say, I want to go look at this house, and I'll pull it up. It's gone. Or we'll go out and we'll go look at the property, right? And then those sellers are not going to take anybody who has to sell another property, right? Sometimes we can sell without having to sell that property in what we call a contingency contract, and we don't have to sell that one, and we can actually qualify for the other one. Go watch one of my other videos that talks about the different ways that you can look at moving. But we'll go out there and they say, hey, if they got to sell, we're not going to do it. Or we weren't prepped in time with the loan type that was competitive enough to get in there, or even looked at some of the cash options to be able to go buy property. So my point being, there's a couple points I want to explain behind me. When it's last minute, it's the worst thing that you can do. If you're out there right now, this is a market I know a lot of people are not sure how long the market's going to last like this. They don't want to pay really high prices. They're concerned about COVID still, some people, right? There's just all these things that people are worried about. And then you call me last minute and we have all these other people that are out there that are more prepared than us. It makes my job much more difficult, and I will try as best as I can. However, it's really not a very powerful position when we don't do these things behind me. So I want to explain to you guys a couple points. One of the things that I like to do is a very deep needs analysis. Why do we want to do that, right? Well, as a consultant, I truly believe that I'm much more of a consultant than anything else, right? And sometimes, you know, part-time real estate doctor, things like that. I want to not just give you a bottle of pills and say, hey, yeah, let's go sell a house, buy a house, right? I want to know, hey, are we considering all our options? Are we looking at different ways that we could save money? Are we looking at ways to be able to make the process efficient and actually win in today's market? And this is the most important thing. None of these other things matter until we go to a deep needs analysis. And what that'll look like is an initial phone call. And I'll ask people, what has you guys thinking of moving? And I want to go a couple layers deep on what are the things that you guys are considering and the timeline and all of those factors, because I want to be the doctor and be that consultant to make sure we're considering all of our options that are out there in this world of real estate. I can't tell you how many times I've had people come to me and say, hey, I bought a house, sold a house in the past, and my agent never told me about these things. I wish I would have known about these things. Well, that's exactly why I want to do number one. Number two is, now that I have a needs analysis completed for you guys, I understand why and what you want to do and what the goals are, then I want to talk about how our process works and tailor that process to you guys. I'm not giving you a template and smacking you with, hey, this is what we do. No, it's going to be, hey, this is what we can do based on the needs and the wants and the goals and everything that you told me, and sort of come up with that tailored plan, right? So our needs analysis, and then our process, and in those two steps, we're looking at a net sheet. How much are we going to walk away with after all the dust settles? What are all the different ways that would make sense based on our lifestyle and our wants and needs and goals on how to make this transition and what makes the most sense for us? What are our concerns? Let's go over those. And then number three, in the opportunity, let's look at all the ways and all the options. When I work with investors is a perfect example. An investor comes to me and they want to buy a property, and I tell them, hey, we never know what kind of opportunities are going to come up. And I tell them one of the best things they can do is go get all their money options on the board, right? And this could be more than just money options, right? Different ways, different loan products, different ways to buy and sell. What are the different ways that we can get in and out of properties? Maybe some different things that we hadn't considered depending on what we're open to. And I want to talk about all the opportunities and make sure that we have solutions. This is where we're prescribing the bottle of pills, right? Or a solution, if you will, right? To the needs analysis. And after we've addressed all the concerns and questions and things about our process and all of that. So number 4, right? Number 4 is the paperwork, right? Obviously there's paperwork when you work with agents, and a lot of people get scared about that paperwork. The paperwork is designed actually to protect you guys and make sure that you have somebody bound by a contract that actually has your back, right? And not someone who's out there, what I call slinging houses, and they're just showing you homes and they don't have your back, and they haven't explained all this stuff and things that could possibly happen, good and bad, right? And things that you need to know. And we don't want to end up in that storyline. And I don't want anybody to be, I don't want to be that agent that someone eventually says, hey, my agent never explained that stuff to me. So getting the horse, right, before the cart is a process that we like to work with all of our clients through. It takes a couple weeks when we do, on average, to get a listing to the market once someone's ready. We find a lot of times people want everything right now, which I know is that world. But in order to do this in the most effective manner, there are some things that we want to get into the right steps, right order process. So the last thing I want to leave you guys with, that bonus thing I already kind of mentioned in this whole thing. People's number one concerns right now is that, I don't want to overpay for homes. The prices of lumber and all these houses are so ridiculous right now. They're like, I don't want to pay for these. And they're having one to sell, and they're like, I would love to take advantage of the equity that I have in my home. And what I typically say to that is say, hey, that's really good that you see that, and a lot of people have that same concern. However, what I like people to see is that it's a trade in equity, unless we're going to consider some other options, like maybe an investment property or something we're going to live in, fix up, if we can get the right loan or money type to be able to do that, which we could find in any market. However, if we're looking to sell turnkey, buy turnkey, right, in most times, no matter if we're in a buyer's market or a seller's market, those prices, right, we're going to do what's called a trade in equity. So I always try to remind clients, there's a lot of other factors and a lot of things that can go into individual plan, and I get it. However, I want to make sure that they understand there's a lot of benefits in having a home and tax benefits and things like that. But I like to remind them, if you're going to play the investor game and try to time the market and combine that with a timing of you needing to sell, that's going to be an extremely difficult and almost impossible task, right? There are some things we can do depending on your scenario to boost whatever's going on. However, there's always going to be a scenario where we're low priced in the market or we're high priced in the market, and it's really a trade in equity. We want to look at, do we need to sell right now, right? If you don't need to sell, there's not a really big push in your life, then maybe that's something that you want to consider, and maybe it's not the best time to move. But if we look at today's interest rates right now, and really the biggest opportunity is maybe you do get more of a house and less payment, but also you have the power to start. You have an extremely leveraged situation right now where you guys have the power to start. You have this situation where you can pick price and terms, which is an extremely powerful position, and another opportunity where we might be able to gain some other financial incentives and make some type of financial gain in this process as well. We've seen 29 offers and sometimes more, and we've seen these things $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 over asking price. So depending on the property, depending on the scenario, there is still financial gain to be made in this process. For example, people sizing down and they're coming from a bigger property, or the property in the perfect area, it has all the upgrades, and you just know this is going to be one of those ones that people are going to pay well over asking for right now. But there's a lot of ways that we could plug in a plan and look at, does it make sense for us to sell? Does it make sense for us to buy right now? In most cases, it makes a lot more sense to be than to be renting, which is a very hot market right now as well. So hopefully all these tips help. If you guys want an individual plan, you guys know how to reach out to us. Either call the number that's in this email, or if you're on YouTube, there'll be some links down below, and make sure that you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so you guys get notifications. Other people can see these videos as well. And I appreciate you guys tuning into our videos. Hopefully this was helpful, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Hey guys, it's Jacob Barnhill. I just wanted to hop in real quick and ask you guys to do me a huge favor. If you guys like these videos and more people can see this stuff, you can hit the like button and share it. That would be great. Also, subscribe to the channel so you get more notifications so you can check this stuff out in the future if you liked what you see here. Also, there's going to be a bunch of links below if you want to go check out our workshops, our events. We're doing stuff for investors, agents alike. We're doing tons of stuff. If you guys are interested in a career, working with us in another way, I have all the links to our websites below. Click those. Love the help. I appreciate it. We'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.